Hello people and welcome to yet another episode of Sandmans Tackle Time. Tonight we're going to hit on the health and safety theme, believe it or not. There's a few little bits and bobs of issues that's come up as of late, and I think they need addressing. They're not so much a problem, but they definitely need clearing up. So while we're on there, we're also going to hit on the 316 grade stainless steel welding rods that I've been using. There's a couple of little bits and bobs I want to get across with there. We've got a good little top tip tonight. A mate of mine showed us a nice little clip there, which as always I'll show you how to make it, what tools you need to make it, and materials, etc, etc. We'll make it together and then we'll incorporate it to a rig, and with a bit of luck, one of you guys out there, they'll have fantastic results with it, and I'll see loads of pictures on Tackle Time saying I've caught a £90 cod with it or thereabouts. Anyway, so we'll stop right there and we'll come straight back with the top tip. Right then, the top tip. A couple of weeks ago, just after a match in our local club, one of my mates come up to us and said that he'd getting this clip. I don't know where he'd get it from or anything like that. It wasn't one of my clips. I never come up with the idea. He said, "I've never seen them before, Paul. Can you make one?" He says, "You're handy with a pair of pliers." I had a look at it. I thought, "I'll give it a try. No problem. How many do you want?" He said, 20? No problem. I'll have a go at it. So, here they are. I'll just put them up against my t-shirt so you can see them there. You can see that we've got little running swivels on them. Anyway, I'm sure there's somebody out there, I'll look at them and say, they are X, Y and Z clips. Alright, is that what they are? To be honest with you, I've never ever clapped eyes on these before. But I did happen to make them. They were very easy to make. There's no rocket science in them at all. So what we'll do, we'll sit here tonight, we'll make one together, and hopefully it'll come up trumps with somebody. Before we make them, we'll talk about the materials that we use to make them, because again, it's come up as a bit of an issue on the group. I must emphasise the point, lads and lasses, if you are going to have a go at making your own terminal tackle or follow the videos and you want to have a go at making the bits and bobs that I make them, by all means, that's what it's there for. Please have a go. But please use the correct gear. I hear it all the time. I'm hearing stories, I get your email here and there of people going to the local tackle shop, put that against my t-shirt, there it is there, and they're trying to make the clips out of this stuff. This is 18 gauge stainless steel wire. In my opinion, 18 gauge stainless steel wire in fishing has got one purpose, and that's probably why your tackle shop's selling it in the first place. Grip wires. End of. I would not use this 18 gauge stainless steel wire for Gemini clips, fast links, whatever. I would not use that to make them. Absolute no. If you were going to have a go at making your own terminal tackle, wherever it may be, 1.6mm 316 grade stainless steel TIG welding rods. Expensive, I hear you see. Yes, they are. You're right. They retail anywhere between 43 to £55 per kilo tube. They're up and down in price all the time. You're right, but it's like everything in life, you get what you pay for. If you want to be safe, be sure, please pay the money. It'll last you a lifetime of tube. I mean, honestly, it's good gear. I've actually tested against a well-known brand of fast link, and I dangled a 25 litre tub of water off one. I know what failed first, and it wasn't the 316 grade. Not mentioning no names, I'm not saying that their guy was crap, it was far from crap, but what my point is, if truth be known, the 316 grade is probably a little bit over the top for what us anglers use. But saying that, I'm sure I'd rather be over the top than to be under, because the last thing you want is anybody getting hurt. I know that I would absolutely die if I hurt somebody. I mean, that's the last thing anybody wants. So please, if you're going to have a go at this, 18 gauge, get rid of it. Use it for your grip wise by all means, but that's it. 1.6mm 316 grade stainless steel welding rods. Go for that stuff. You can't go wrong. Anyway, you've heard me blabber on enough about health and safety. We'll come straight back and we'll start making this clip. Right, so let's make this clip. What do you need to make it? Good set of NCB pliers. If you can't get NCB pliers, as I'm sure a lot of the pits are shut now, a good sturdy set of pliers, nice and strong. A normal set of universal pliers, and the Holy Grail. A lot of people are asking me these days, what's these round nose pliers called? Right, never actually hit on them exactly what they are. And I simply go onto eBay and I type in 140mm round nose pliers. Or Draper, D-R-A-P-E-R, round nose pliers. It'll come up with them. They retail anywhere between 11 to 16 pounds. You won't go wrong. Worth the weight and gold, them little boys. Anyway, so that's the pliers that you need. 316 grade, 1.6mm stainless steel TIG welding rods, as you've heard us say it many a time. This is just some black sheathing off electrical cable. There it is there. I've cut it into lengths. And here we've got them little power swivels. These little power swivels, you've heard us talk about them before in a couple of the videos, are the absolute dog's dangly bits. This little guy there, I'll put a roller up next to them so you can I'll take that piece of tape off. Sorry about that. If I put that that roller there, you can now start to get some idea of how small these are. Anyway, the bigger one out the two has got a breaking strain of 295 pounds. Whew. The little fella, believe it or not, has got a breaking strain of 100 pounds breaking strain. So it's unbelievable. I use obviously the little ones for my hook snuds and that, and the big ones which goes on to my main trace. Anyway, there's that. I have already cut a length of 316 grade 1.6mm stainless steel TIG welding rods to 10 centimeters. There is your length. Put that there. Tap them up on your pliers so you get that length. And I always use that part of the plier, never that. So I've tapped them up there so they're nice and flush. Into there. Hold that there and snip. Discard that. There you go. Two 10 centimeter lengths of 316 grade. We'll put that to one side first because we're going to make this little guy first, as you can see. Right, so get your piece of wire in your hand and your round nose pliers, and you want to basically put your piece of wire. It's about halfway up the blade of the plier, and you're keeping that nice and flush there. What you're going to do now is we're going to make a loop. You've seen me do this a million times on Tattle Time. So nice and keep tight hold and take that round as is. Here we go. Around, around, around and stop. You're now there. Universal pliers. Holding it that way, and you want to make sure that they're straight. The last thing you want to do is bent like that. So you're getting all of it. And just make sure that that's nice and straight. There you go, as you can see. That's all nice and straight. Now what you want to do is just gently nip that there, like so, and nip it together. That's it, that's all I've done. I've just nipped it together. So you're there, nip together. Using this part of your finger and your thumb on the back and just pull it back on itself. So you're going to go there to there and back. That's all you've done. Get your pliers. Ease that together and keeping it straight. And there you go. You've just made a nice little loop on the end of your clip. The next thing that you want to do is really, you can do this now if you want. Just get your plier and just open that loop quickly back up. Probably haven't done that. My bad, I should have put this on first. So what you want to do is you just pop in the swivel on the end of there, and then we'll close that back up as is. I should have really done that the first time, but never mind. Right, there you go, that's where you are now. You've got a nice little loop and you've got one of them power swivels on the top of there. Get one of your £100 breaking strain swivels and you're simply going to pop that over there, like so. Then you want a piece of your sheath. Now what this is here, people ask me a lot, is I've got an electrical shop near to me, it's called Sandmans. It's just speaker cable, that's all it is, it's speaker cable, which is obviously 1.6mm. So the inner core is 1.6mm, which accommodates that 1.6mm. So as you watch this, that there will slide over there. There we go. And just shove that up there for the time being, so that's well out of the way. That's all. So that's where you should be right now. Getting your universal pliers, you want to make sure that that loop is facing up at you like that. You don't want it sitting horizontal, you need it sitting vertical like that. Get your pliers, and what you want to do is halfway through the blade of your ply, or maybe 3/4 of the way, depending on how big you're wanting your little clip bit. So if you don't know if you can see that there, hopefully you can. I'll get a piece of wire so you know what I'm talking about. You can just see it there. It's roughly halfway, maybe it's just over halfway through there. Making sure that your loop and it's all nice and straight. Hold it tightly, and you just want to bend it away from you. So you're just going to go kink. That's all you've done. That's it. You're then going to get your pliers. You're about 3/4 of the way up the shaft. Again, keeping everything flush on with yourself, like I've just done with that little bit. Now, put your finger there, and as you can see, that little bit that you've just bent out there will actually wrap around your finger, and it's good that in a way because it helps to stabilise it on your finger. Use your thumb and bend the whole thing around the blade of the plier. So you're there, and you're just going to come round all the way to there. So you've now got that. Like I said, there's no rocket science in this whatsoever. So you've get to that state there, get there into your pliers just there, and I always like to run my finger and thumb just there so I can keep them nipped together and just close them together. As soon as they get there, then really hold them and give them a quick nip. Boom, like that. That's all you want to do. And that there will keep them in situ, like that. So that's where you're on now. Simple thing to do now. One thing is just move that down to there. That then is allowed to float freely. That's it. You're ready to rock and roll. So if I was to get, I'll use this one. Let's pretend that that's an eye of a sinker. Simply clip on, and that's it. Your bottom trace will come off that. Anyway, this is just one version of it. So let's put that to one side, and we'll make the second version. Again, here we are, 316 grade, 10 centimeters long, exactly the same. And that's the one that we're going to make now. Just leave that one there. Right, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to make that loop. So like you've just seen us do, keeping it up, flush up to there, about halfway up the blade of your plier, and all the way around, all the way, all the way, all the way. So you're there. As you saw us before, we want to try and keep that straight, but this time we'll put the swivel on, like I forgot to do last time, just with the struggling with light switches and that. Anyway, so that's where we are there. I'll quickly nip that together. We're just making the loop like I did on the last one. Nothing different, exactly the same. Nudge that back a little bit and tighten that up, and let's make sure that's all straight. There we go. It's exactly what I've just done on the other one. Now then, what we'll do now is we'll get a piece of sheath and we'll slide that one on. There we go, there's one on. And we'll get that right the way up the top, just so it's out the way for the time being. And then we'll slide on the 100-pound break and strain swivel. And then we'll put on another piece of sheath. I suppose if you wanted, you could use beads if you would prefer beads, but I just used sheath. So that's where you are now at the moment. Right, at the other end, what we're going to do is making sure that that's sitting vertical here. Get your pliers, and you want to go, what would you say there, 4mm, 5mm from the bottom of the plier. Keeping everything, let's have a quick look, keeping everything nice and straight, keeping that there. What we're going to do is just going to bend that round, keeping a tight hold. Keep in mind this is 316 grade, and that's where you want to be right now. That's it there. Needs a little bit straightening up, so just keep on straightening up as you're going along. That's where we are. Now, when you're here, get your universal pliers and put your universal pliers in like so. So you're right there. What you want to do is, as soon as the plier comes to the end of there, so you're there, that's when you stop. So pliers go in to the end of there. That's where you want to be. Now, keep tight hold. You've got that all ready. You're ready. Now you want to bend it straight round. Your thumb there and just go straight round all the way. So you're there. Very easy. That's where you want to be. So that's exactly where you should be now. Right, we're nearly finished. As you're there, getting hold of your round nose pliers again, you now need to make sure that that U, if you like, if you want to call it that, is facing downwards, so it's straight down. You don't want it to the side or like that, you need it that way, straight down. You want to get the pliers onto it again, and you want to be roughly halfway up the shaft. Keeping that flat, and I would dare say, what's that, 10 mil, roughly? Something like that, about 10 mil from the bottom, 10, 12 mil, roughly. It doesn't have to be exact. Nice and firm. Again, put your finger at the back, and what you're going to do is you're going to come straight round. Make sure we've got that nice and straight. There we go. And you're going to come straight round, so it's there, and you're coming round and around and around and around and stop. And that's where you are now. Your universal pliers, get them nipped into there, and just tease it in, tease it in, tease it, and you'll see it'll clip in a minute, and there it goes. That's it. There you go. Now then, what we'll do now is we'll push that just down to the start of there. That's where there is. And there you have it. Done. One clip. I've made something similar to this quite a while back, and it was like a lure clip, if you like, just so you could easily take it off, put it back on. Very, very, very easy, very simple. So again, if you can imagine this being your sinker top, obviously that would go to your main line. That's your sinker top. You would simply clip your sinker top into there. That fades around, as you can see, and drops down. So if you imagine that being your sinker, that's the way it would be. You want to take it off, you simply up, off there, around, and it's gone. Again, back on, clip it onto there, in, around, and down, and off, around. It's very simple, but very effective, and that's that. Right, so like I said, the clip's no rocket science, no brain surgery or nothing like that. So what we'll do is we'll now incorporate that into a very basic rig, a long flowing trace and that, like I say, for hounds maybe, or rays somewhere along them lines, and hopefully somebody will have a good session of that. Right, so we'll get some mono sorted out, and I'll come straight back and we'll make a quick rig. Right, the rig. Here I've got a length of £70 Blue Marlin mono. There it is there. You've probably seen me use this time and time and time again on Tattle Time. I absolutely adore the stuff. It was shown to me by a mate a long time ago, and to be honest, I've used it ever since. If it isn't broke, don't fix it, and this certainly is not broke. I use it for me rig bodies, I use it for me shock leader. It's just awesome. If you want some, Mike UK Hooks, I always buy it in a kilo spill, but he does do it in 4 ounce spills. Get yourself down to say Mike at UK Hooks, you will not be disappointed. It's fantastic stuff. Anyway, that's that. Get one end, nip it between your thumb and your finger, like so. Pull that all the way to the left, turn your head to the right, and you want it just off the tip of your nose. There you go. Grab your nail clippers. And when you come to cut this, just a little tip here. Don't cut your mono on a 90-degree angle like that. Cut it on a 45-degree angle like that. And for those that don't know, I'll explain in a while. Snip. There you go. Very simple. Discard that. We shall go to the other end. Here's the clip that we've just made. Getting the swivel, the power swivel. You don't have to use a power swivel. It's just my personal choice. I like to be safe. Pull that through about, what's that, 3.5, 4 inches or so. And you want to nip the whole thing together there between your thumb and your finger 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and through the bottom. And as you know, that is your standard half blood. But we're not going to stop there. We're then going to go another 3. 1, 2, 3. That's where you are now. Apply gob oil and send that home. Here we go. That there, my friends, is one extremely neat and tidy and strong knot. You get zoomed right into there if you have a look. It actually comes out the same way as it goes in. Very, very strong knot that. This knot, and all the time I've used it, I'm just going to cut off the excess there. This knot, that all the time I've used it, has never failed me to date. Never. Anyway, so that's where we are at the moment. Clip, £70 mono. Move that to one side. Here's where that little tip comes in, where you cut your mono on a 45-degree angle. Here we've got some crimps. Now, many a time I've gotten a crimp and it's had a piece of crud or shite, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of it. If that's cut at a 45-degree angle, it always seems to butt up. It just will not go through. So every time when I'm cutting mono to go through a crimp, I cut it on a 45-degree angle, which is giving it a little bit of a point. And every time it just seems to find its own way in, no problem whatsoever. So just a little tip for you. Anyway, so we've got crimp. These are Any Fish Anywhere beads. I bought these at Andy Rutherford's. They were $1.99 a pack. They are small, extremely strong, and the faultless. I love them. I've used them for a long time now. I like things on my rig being nice and small and compact. I've never been a fan of having big, bulky, like 8mm beads or something like that on your rig. It's not for me. I like things nice, streamlined, if you like. Anyway, so we've got your crimp and you've got one of them little beads. And now we're going to put on a salt bait clip. And there it is there. But we're going to put this on upside down. Like so. At the other end of that, we're then going to put another one of them beads. There's no rocket science in this. It's a very simple rig. Put that down to there. And then we'll get another crimp. And simply pop that straight onto there. So, if I put that all together, as you can see, you've now got your crimp, your bead, your salt bait clip, your bead, your crimp. Right, we'll just push that down to the other end for the time being, because we're done there for now. Now what you want to get is, again, I'm using one of these power swivels because I'm a huge fan of them. I really am. Yes, they may be over the top at £295 braid and strain, but I don't mind. We're going to repeat that knot, chaps. Here we go. About 4 inches through. 1, 2, 3. Through the bottom. Half blood. 1, 2, 3. There you go to there. Another little tip. Apply your gob oil. Get one of your cut-offs of your 316 grade like that. And put that into your hand like so. Act as a T-bar. And then send that all home. Here it goes. Solid as a rock. Lovely. That's that. Right. Trim off that tag end. Discard that. There we go. Very simple. There's that. Now we'll go to the other end, because that's virtually your rig body finished, apart from just about what we're going to do now. All I've grabbed there is I've grabbed the crimps and the beads and all the little bits and bobs that we've put on. And what I want to do, it's about an inch down. That's just the way I always do it. It's about an inch down from the knot. We're now going to get your round nose pliers. Please, the last thing that you want to do is use the cutting part of your universal pliers, and God forbid you would ever use a pair of nail clippers. You will probably go straight through. The rig's damaged. You're going to start again. Round nose pliers. Right in the middle of the crimp, if you like. One nip. Boom. That's it. It's going nowhere. It's solid. Go to the other side. Right in the middle of the crimp. Boom. Pull that tight. There you go. Done. Going nowhere. So, that is your rig body made at the moment. I'm now going to get some. This is £30 ASO. I'm only using this for photographic purposes because it's very good, is it? Because it's bright orange. For those that want to know, the mono that I'm using for my hook snods at the moment is ASO Oblivion. It's awesome. It come out quite some time ago, I think 3 or 4 months ago, something like that. I think it was the first time I saw it anyway. I was in my mate's shop, Andy Rutherford's. I've seen it in Fishing Republic as well, and there it was on the shelf. And I was, oh, what's that? Andy, give this a try. It's fantastic stuff. I think it retails for, is it $3.99, somewhere around there, for 100 metre spool. It's awesome. It's nuts up lovely. It's lovely and subtle. It's clear, which I'm a big fan of clear line for my hook snuds. Just ticked all the right boxes for me. I've had results on it, and it's great. And I don't think it's too expensive. So get yourself out there, try it. Asso Oblivion. That paired up with your Blue Marlin, you'll not be disappointed. Not at all. Anyway, but I'm using this Asso because it's bright orange and it's good for the camera, where the Asso Oblivion isn't, obviously with it being clear. But if I was making this rig for my own use, I would be using Oblivion. Anyway, so we're going to go down to the little £100 brake and strain swivel that is on the clip that you've just made. There it is there. And we are going to put the mono through there, and we're going to repeat that knot that you've just seen us do. So we'll pull that again through there, 4 inches. 1, 2, 3. Through the bottom again. I don't want to sound repetitive. There's your half blood. 1, 2, 3 to there. There's your gob oil, and we'll nip that up. There you have that. Now we'll just trim off that tag end. There it goes. That's where we are right now. And I always like to put on a little piece of this silicon tubing, 1.6mm silicon tubing. Buy it at all your tackle shops there. And we'll get that on there. And I always like to just put a little bit of spit, or gob oil as I keep on calling it, and just slide that over like so. There you go. I just find that it doesn't tangle up as much to the main body when it's like that. Just my personal thoughts. Anyway, holding the bottom of this, you now want to grab both in your finger and your thumb, between your finger and thumb, like so. So you've got your Blue Marlin and your hook snud. Pull them through together, pulling them through, keep them going, keep on going, keep on going. As soon as you feel the swivel, the bait clip in your between your thumb and your finger, stop. Grab it with the other one, and there it is there. And I always cut my hook snud direct in line with there. So let's see where all that is now. I'll get me nail clippers right there. Boom, done. Discard that. We're now ready to attach the hook. Here I've got a size 3/0 chino hook, mustard chino. You can use whatever hook you see fit, whether it be Sakuma Manta, Manta Extra, Viking, whatever you want, Varivas, whatever. Again, I'm just repeating the knot that you've seen us do. So there we'll have it, 3 to 4 inches. 1, 2, 3. Through the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Please be careful when using hooks, chops, as you know they are very, very sharp. And we'll pull that tight. And there you have it. Nice, neat and tidy. Trim off that excess. There you have it. That's done there. I'm simply going to pop a sinker on the bottom of here. If I can get that onto there. And there we have it. Oh, let's just pop out a bit. There we go. That's back in. There's your sinker on. And with a bit of luck, if I've done my maths right, that should clip lovely onto that bait clip there. So that would go there. And pull that all. Oh, got it right around me. There. And there you have it there. That's absolutely spot on. There it is there. I just want to follow that through. No problems at all. Lovely. Ready to go. Like I say, I have never ever seen one of them clips before. I'm sure there's a load of yous out there that have. Very easy to make, very effective. Please, if you get some good results on them, drop us an email, put it on the group. Love to hear from it. Anyway, as we're finished here, we are going to hit on to the health and safety side of things. You've seen us make that rig. That was our top tip in a way. But the health and safety issue on Sandmans North Pier, this one for the members and people that's mainly interested in join Sandmans Sailing Club. We're hitting on to pendulum casting, basically, and extreme forms of casting that you can and can't do on Sandmans North Pier. It was put back in the last AGM in November. A member put it up and said that he wanted all pendulum casting stopping on the piers for health and safety reasons. It was passed absolutely unanimous. Obviously, with it being nobody wants to be hitting the back of the head with a sinker, and in my opinion, doing the pendulum on a pier when you're already 600-700 yards out at sea, is it the right thing to do? I appreciate it's nice to get your lead out there and put a bait in the tide. I get it, but I think there's maybe a time and a place to do the pendulum cast. That's just my opinion. Then we've got the other issue of people not using shock leader. What are you thinking? In my opinion, what are you thinking? Personally, I use £20. Here we go here. I've got a Pen Torque 15 with this stuff on. Tri-line, £20. There it is there. That's what's on it. Two extremely strong rail, like the rail's very strong, and that mono is strong as well. I purposely haven't got a shocker on this for this reason, because there's a couple of lads says, well Paul, what nut do you use? Very simple, what I use, very simple. And I'm going to show you here tonight what I use to do a shock leader nut. So, before we go down onto the pier, where I'm going to take a rod, put this rail onto it, and show you how you're allowed to cast on the pier, according to the rules, let me show you how I attach my shock leader to my rails. I'm going to simply put off, well, I've got some here. This is £70 shock leader. This is what I carry in my box at all times. I'm just going to pull off a little bit of a length there, just so I can show you the way I do it. So, let's pretend I've cracked off and I need to reattach my... Actually, if I move that pad, you might be able to see that better with it being clear. I don't know if that's any better. Right, so let me move that rig just for the time being. We'll put that down there. That's out of the way. Right, so this is the way I do my shocker nuts. Actually, here we go. I always pull my mono down good 10 inches and make a granny knot, like so. That's where you are now. Get your mono, your main line in this case, and simply pop the end of your mono through there like so, and pull that through a good 10 inches if you like. There you are. Holding the whole lot together, pull that knot taut like so. That's where you want to be. I'll then nip the two between my thumb and my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you are. And the bottom of that goes through that little hole in the bottom of there. I know it's hard to see because it's clear, but I'm hoping you can see that there. Apply some gob oil. That's where you are now. Watch. There you have it. Right. Oh, that is strong. Anyway, so you've got to that stage there. I always get the end of the mono, put it in my mouth, and just make sure that that knot is very tight. I'll then let a bit more of that off. I'll then go back to my main line and I'll pull that again just to make sure that's tight. Once I'm happy with the knot and I'm looking at it, says yes, it's neat, it's tidy, it's nice and strong, I've pulled the life out with my hands. Trim off your tag ends. There's that one gone. and then there's that one gone there. A little bit more. Now what you want to do again is once you've got it all trimmed off, you can see that it's nice, neat and tidy, is pull it through its paces again. You want to absolutely make sure that that's not going to fail. And you can see there, if you look at the lines in my hands, I have really pulled that. And that there is the knot that I use every time when I'm fishing. You go to the other end, and I always use one of these little guys, made by myself, as you know. There's one of the power swivels on the end, and I simply use this knot that you've seen us do. Pull that through. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, my fault. Through the bottom. I know I sound like a stuck record the amount of time I've done this knot. 2, 3. That's to there. There you have that there. Nice, neat and tidy. Very strong and simple. If that was, for argument's sake, your perfect one, we've just made one. Let's say we were using that rig that I've just made. There is your swivel at the other end. Your swivel simply clicks onto there, like so. And there you go, it's on. And that's it. When you're finished with that rig, it simply unclips. That was a freshly baited up one. On, clip it on, and that's it, you're ready to go. Take it from me. That there is very strong. Anyway, on the other end of your rail, as you know, you've just put that shock leader on. For those that don't know, let's get rid of them few loose loops. Quickly do this, get them out of the way first. Now there's your shock knot coming, depending on whether you're left or right handed. For me, I always put it tucked in the left hand side. With a shock leader knot, the last thing you want to do is have it in the middle, especially in a cold night, because if that knot comes around, it's going to rip your thumb in half and it hurts. I've been there, I learned the hard way. Anyway, so we'll have that there. Get your knot, tuck your knot into the corner of the rail to there, and this is the way that you want to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns of the rail, and that's where you want to be. There is 8 turns of that shock leader on that rail, and that there was told to me by one of my casting mates on the casting fields, very well known name. And I said to him, I says, when you lads is doing your bits and bobs on the field, what is the requirement of your shock leader? Minimum £70. There's lads out there might use 70, 80, 90, even £100 shock leader. I use 70. I wouldn't use anything less unless I was maybe fishing a river, and I would maybe then drop down a little bit if it was just light work. But standard beach work, fishing a pier, anything, £20 mainline, £70 shock leader minimum, in my opinion. And then you need 8 turns on the spool. I guess one of the reasons why the 8 turns is that during the cast, if your thumb does slip, the chances are you've still got a good few turns left on the rail, which means it's still safe. So that's that. So we're going to stop the video now. We're going to put this rail onto a rod, go down to the pier, and I'll now show you a few of the casts that you can do on Sandmans North Pier according to the rules. So, be right back, we'll see you on the pier. Right, so here we are, Sandmans North Pier. First of all, I'm sorry about the bit of wind there. I can't do nothing about that, people. I'll speak up a little bit and hopefully you can hear us over the top of it, but it is what it is. What we're here for? Well, first of all, we're going to put a shock leader on the rail. I'll show you how I've done it the other day, but I'll show you again how I do it, 8 turns on the rail, etc, etc. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about the casts that you can do on Sandmans North Pier, South Pier and the Spiles area. So the casts that you can do and the cast that's an absolute no-no, must not do. So I'm going to pause right there. Right, so we're ready to do the cast. I've put the mono on, 70 pound blue marlin. I've got the tennis ball ready to go there so you can see it at home. The rod that we're using tonight is a Ziplex FT full tournament, and the reel that we're using is Pin Torque 50. So the first cast that we're going to do, it'll be just an overhead thump. These are the casts that you're allowed to do in Sandmans Sanding Club on Sandmans Piers. These are the casts you can do. First cast, overhead thump. Do that once more. So, as you saw, that was the overhead thump. We'll come right back with the next cast. The next cast that's okay to do on Sandmans Piers, the layback. Once more. That was the layback. That's okay to do on Sandmans Pier. Next cast. Next cast is where we're going to drop the sinker, in this case the tennis ball, over the back of the pier, like this. So, as you saw, the ball wasn't, as in, I know it was moving, but it wasn't a swing, it was just dropped over the back of the pier, and we went from there. So, next cast. Right, the next one is the high inertia or the Brighton cast. This is okay to do on Sandmans Pier. So, as you saw, that cast's okay. That's the high inertia or the Brighton cast. Next cast. Right, so, like I've just demonstrated there, I showed you several casts of what you can do on Sandmans Piers and Spiles area. Now we're going to demonstrate a few casts of what is an absolute no-no. You must not do this on Sandmans Piers or the Spiles area. The first one is the South African. Here we go. South African, you're starting off with 6-7 foot drop. You're laying the lead way to the left or to the right, whichever takes your fancy. You're coming round and you're coming round. So you think about it, that's coming right the way around. I'll do that once more. Now I know there's a lot of lads out there like that cast and can put a lead a long way with that. But worst case scenario, if something did go wrong on that cast on the pier, it doesn't bear thinking about what's going to happen. We'll stop there. That was the South African, an absolute no-no on Sims Pier and Spiles area. Next cast. Right, so, next cast. This is called the Pendulum. This is an absolute no-no. Not allowed to do it on Sims, Piers and Spiles area. The full Pendulum. Do that one more time. I know I'm not the world's best pendulum caster, but it gives you some sort of an idea of how the pendulum cast goes. That is an absolute, definite nowhere. That is not allowed on Sims, Piers and Spiles area. Next cast. Right, next cast. While we've got the length, the ball at full length of the rod virtually, the next cast that is an absolute no-no is the back cast. Very, very similar to the pendulum cast. Obviously you've got your back to the water and it goes a little bit like this. Do that once more. Again, I'm not the world's best backcaster. In fact, I can't do it at all. But it gives you some idea of how it goes. Again, has no place on Sims, Piers or Spiles area. So that's an absolute no-no. Next cast. Right, so we're coming to the end, and as far as I'm aware, I can think of one more cast that is an absolute no-no to do on Sims, Piers and Spiles area. I know I sound like a stuck record here. I'm just trying to get the message across as it keeps on popping up and popping up and popping up. Keeping in mind that the AGM was back in November. Here we are in April and it's still cracking on. So, this next cast is the half pendulum and is an absolute no-no on Sims, Piers and Spiles area. Do that once more. And that's it, that's your half pendulum, and that's an absolute no-no on Sims Pier. And that comes to the end of another Sandmans tackle time. So, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as we did making it and bringing it to you. I hope that cast a little bit at the end. I know it might have been boring for some, but I really hope it puts a few little bits and bobs of issues to bed, and that's the end of it. Just take care out there, be safe, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Sandmans tackle time. Bye-bye.